everyone, I'm Micheline from Americana Long Arm Quilting, and as you can see, I've got some spooky prints to work with today. We're going to make a couple of wall hangings. I say a couple because in my house it's kind of an open concept, and from my living room you can see into my kitchen, and you see the end of the two cabinets that flank the sides of my kitchen, and it's this great big white space that I can put wall hangings on. So historically that's what I do. I make two duplicate wall hangings, and I put one on either side, and I change them out for the season. It's lots of fun. So it's time to put a Halloween one together. Now I bought a strip set, so what I want to do might be a little bit more difficult. So I made a sample. This is my little Wonky Halloween house. I don't know how well you can see that, but he's got angled sides and a crooked door and different size windows, a funky roof. And I figure what I can do is put a background piece here and a background piece here, and then sew the roof on, and then put a background piece here and here. So I think what I'm going to do is make the house a little bit taller. This one's about 14 inches tall, and I think I'm going to go for like a 16 to 18 inch tall house. So he's going to be pretty good size. And then below the house, I'm going to do like a little pathway, kind of like a piano key pathway, you know, going through. And this isn't going to take up very much of this jelly roll at all. I've got some of it laid out here, but geez, I've got half the jelly roll that I haven't even opened up yet. Ooh, that's a pretty one right there. I'll need to open that one, see what it has in it. So I need to pick a house color and a roof color, and then our trim color, or our doors and our windows. So I really think, because this is what I'm picked for the backing. This is just a gray color with a black polka dot in it, and I think that's going to be really, really cute with it, and all Halloweeny, you know. I think that I want to do a lighter colored house, so I think we're going to go with this one. And this has got spider webs and spiders all over it. That's a lot of fun. For the roof, because the background is gray, I think we're going to go with the purple for the roof. And what I want to do is, again, kind of keep it a little bit light. So I'm going to go with the bats since we already used the spiders. But there might be something more fun in here. Let's take a look real quick. Let's see. No, I think it's the same stuff, but I've got another bat, so I won't run out of roofing material. Sounds funny to say. Let's see if there's something different in here. I don't think so. Some fun prints. So I think there is going to be enough of this left over, even after I make my little path and do all that stuff, to make a little throw quilt for Halloween. Won't that be fun? Or maybe I'll make a table run or a set of placemats. And I think I might do the doors out of this. Either the purple, or I might do the doors out of this fun cat, because then it would look like a cat sitting in the doorway. That might be kind of cute. All right, well, either way we go, there's really not going to be any cutting done here. I'm going to just take these pieces that I want to work with. I'm going to take them over to the machine and sit there and make some kind of strip sets. And because it's just a free form thing, you just kind of make it on the fly. So let's go do that. And the fun thing about this, that means each one of my houses is going to be different, which will be fun. Okay, so let's get started at the machine. And I have been bitten by the forgot to hit record button. So I did all this work. I made this beautiful little block, and I didn't record it. But that's perfectly okay, because remember, I told you I make two wall hangings, one for each side of my kitchen cabinets. So this will go on one side, and now we're going to make the one for the other one. But I wanted to show you how cute that turned out. Isn't that adorable? You see the kitty cats in the windows? Isn't that cute? I love the way this turned out. I think this is going to be a fun little wall hanging. Okay. Now, I didn't have enough of the spiders in the house color to do a second house. So I've picked another house color, and it's going to be these pumpkins. So we're still going with the orange on the house, but it's going to have pumpkins. And I chose that because it showed up the best against the gray. There was another one that showed up better, but it was directional. It was actually this in an orange. But as you can see, it's kind of directional. And I needed it to go this way. So these trees would be kind of going horizontally in and the trees showed up more in the orange. But I did really like this print. So this is going to be the roof of my new Wonky house. I'm still going to stay with my kitty cats. I've cut a couple pieces. I'm still going to stay with my fussy cut kitty cats for the windows. And I'm still going to stay with this one for the door. All right, you guys, let's get sewing this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is this part right here. See where the door, it's just not wanting to behave here. I'll just lay it down. Where the door and the orange meet together. Okay, so first we're going to do that. So my door is taking up about that much room. So let's see about how much room I need for that. So about that much room. Oh, I think I just dropped something on the floor. I did. Ruh-roh. Put that over there so I don't drop it again. So I'm only going to need about that much just to make my life easier. Let's just go ahead and cut that piece off like that. And now here's a little funny thing that I'm going to do. I'm sure there's a mathematical way to do this. I'm no math wizard, so I'm not going to do it that way. But I am going to just line these two up together and then take this guy here and mimic that angle. And I'm kind of squashing it, making it stay. I'm going to come over here and put that, I lost my line, there we go. Put that line in there a little harsher. Let me put some glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here. Hang on a minute here. There we go. We want it to go like this, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go like this. Okay. Whoop. And I'm going to sew that across. Now I am going to just use a pin or two. Why not? Okay. Just to keep that in place. Okay. Go through this way since my pin would be in the way otherwise. I'm going to use a leader. Okay. And voila, straight piece, just a new strip piece, right? Let me cut this off, and then we're going to get to the really fun stuff. Okay. I'm just going to take that little dog ear off, and that little dog ear off very carefully. Okay, so there's my door piece. All right. And it's a tiny bit off right there, but that's okay. And I'm going to show you why right now. Let me go ahead and press that out of the way. Now I'm going to sew, and this is about the length that I want it. Let me get this back over here to show you. So I was just making sure that it's about the length I want, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece. Let's take the piece I started with, which is the other piece. All right, get it together. Now I'm going to take this, and I want the house to be at kind of an angle. All right. So you see what I've done? I want the door, to not be as wide at the bottom as it is at the top. So I'm going to sew it on like this. You see that? Right there? Okay. Let's get this sewn on. All right. That off. And then this is going to be one side right there. Let's get that pressed. Well, and you know what I forgot to do? You see what I forgot to do? I forgot to put a window right there. I'm going to be taking some of this out. And what a great thing to show you guys. We make mistakes. Don't let it bother you. Take it out. Do it again. No big deal. Okay, but let's do the other window. Let's do the other side first, okay? So I'll show you how to do this one, and then I will take the other one out and fix it. So I'm going to put that together like that. And then I will decide where I want my window to go. And there's no right or wrong where to put your window. Okay. So I like my window, let's go right about there. That looks about right. So let's go ahead and cut this off. And we're going to trim the bottom of this straight later, so we don't need to worry about that right now. And now I'm going to take this piece and put it on the top of my window. I think I'll come down just a little bit because I don't need that big of a window. Okay. Trim that off just a bit. Don't want all that bulk in there. Need to trim this one off too. I was trying to go quick. I've said it before. I don't have a lot of patience, and that's one thing I love about quilting. It's teaching me patience. Teaching me patience. All right, let's see how long we want this. So if my window is going to go right there, I can probably trim this off, and I'm going to make it a little bit longer because, you know, I want it to angle. And because this one angles this way, I kind of want the other one to angle the other way. So I'm going to make that one a little bit longer. Now we're going to put him on the house, or on the side there. Okay. And I'll be honest, that one's a little bit crooked. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to sew it straight. Okay. Okay. See there? Isn't that cute? Now, of course, that's what this side is supposed to look like. So I'll probably just take out part of the seam, not the whole seam. And I'll fix that and I'll get back to you. Okay, I fixed my boo-boo. Doesn't that look better with a window on each side? Okay, now this is, okay, here's my house, right? This side's taller on this one and this side's shorter. So if I put this one here, I want this side to be shorter and this side to be taller. Take my piece of fabric here, and now I'm really going to angle it, okay, down here at the bottom. You see that? I'm really going to angle it because I want these pieces to be really wonky. But I don't have to go up quite as high as I'm going to on the other side. Now, let's get this in here. Do want to be on the fabric though. And there is a little bit of waste when you sew like this, and that's okay. chalk that up to, you know, artists, artistic license. That's what I was trying to say. All right, let me cut this piece off here. I'm just going to use my scissors. Not the sharpest scissors I have in the workroom, by the way. That's okay. Okay. The only thing I am being concerned about right now is I want them to turn out about the same size. Doesn't have to be perfectly the same size, but about the same size would be nice. Okay, so we're going to do this other side now. I'm going to make him go up there a little bit higher. I've got him at a wonky angle. Wonky being the word of the day. I had my foot pedal on slow that time, didn't I? Goodness gracious. Okay. Get that out of my way. And all these little pieces that I have left over, they're all going to go into that piano key type curved path. So that's going to be really fun. Let me cut off this excess. Okay. I think I've already said it, but this kind of sewing is so liberating. It's so much fun. Just make it up as you go. Need to cut this one off too. Sometimes I press them first, sometimes I cut them first. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay. A little bump right there. He doesn't want to behave too well. Okay. Now, so far so good. But what I want to do is I want to take off some of this extra stuff here. So I want it to be a little bit skinnier, right? A lot of bit skinnier. So that's what I'm going to do now. Oops. That up there. Kind of need to turn my cutting board wonky to get all of the fabric in there that I want to save. Okay. Now I certainly could have done this part when I went to sew the gray onto the background, but you know, I'm just doing it now. Let me turn him around so I use proper cutting etiquette. I think I want my roof to start about there. Go like this. Okay. Let's trim the bottom a little bit. I'm going to kind of work with my door as being kind of straightish along the bottom. Nothing about this is going to be straight. It's absolutely okay. Okay. So now I've got that. Well, let me cut the angle of the roof. Hang on a minute here. I think I'm backwards again. That's what I think. I am being angrily challenged today. Okay, I kind of like that. A little bit of waste, you know. Could probably save that and undo it and use it in something. Okay, so far this is what we've got. How are we going to make that into a block? Watch. Okay. So I've got an 8-inch strip of my background piece, right? And what I'm going to do is sew it to this. No, I'm going to sew it to the tall side first. And you'll see why in a second. There, I've got it on fast. My foot just didn't want to go fast earlier, did it? Okay, so first of all, let me get some of this excess gray stuff off of here. And I'm just going to whack it off like that, okay, and get that out of my way. Now, what I want to do, let's press it first. All these steps. Patience, patience, patience. Come on. That seam wants to turn over midway through. Okay, so now you see that? So if we're going to assume that the bottom of my house is straight across, and I want this to be a little bit long, wider than it needs to be so that I can trim it down, I am going to come over here like so and just trim. And I am not all the way on my mat, so I might have to do a little bit of moving, but that is okay. Go like that. Go like that. Now what I want to do is take this piece, like this, like this. So see, that's why I cut an 8-inch strip, because I knew I could use it on both sides of the block and I'll waste less that way. Okay, so now I'm just going to put him on there. This is really a fast little thing to do. Okay, let's press him back. Okay, now I'll go ahead and cut these ends off here so that they're not in my way when I go to sew my roof on. Okay, now I'm going to take my roof piece, oops, this one right here, and I'm going to make sure that the trees, because they're directional, right? So I don't want to have upside down trees. So I'm going to go, that's the way I want it to sew on. So I'm going to go like so. Okay. And now we're going to sew our first piece of roofing on. My chair is stuck on my anti-fatigue mat behind me, so I'm having a hard time pushing it around. Which way do I have that one pressed? Okay. Going underneath and looking at which way I have my seams pressed so that at the end they're not switching direction. Okay. I'm just going to finger press this for right now, because now I'm going to take this one. Oh, let me press him. He's got a big old crease in him. There we go. Don't want that. So now, and I want this one, let's see here. Again, I want the shorter side on this side. But for right now, I'm just going to, I'll worry about that once I get 3 pieces sewn on here. Okay. I hope this shows everybody that you do not have to be intimidated by doing something in an artistic vein. Quilting is so artistic, and you don't have to have a pattern all the time. You can do this. There is nothing hard about this. Just do what's in your head. If it turns out, it turns out. If it doesn't, try it again. Try it again. That's life, right? Not everything we do in life turns out the first time. We got to keep trying. Okay, so that looks pretty silly, doesn't it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to take it over to my big mat, and I'm going to cut the angles of the roof because it's a little bit too much for this little mat, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I got the angle of my roof cut. Now we're going to put a couple more pieces of this gray on here, and we're just going to zip it on there. Oh, showing my age. I need my glasses. All right. That's one side, and I think this time I probably will leave that long like that. Just whack it off right there. And now I'm going to put another piece right here. And I don't have to go up all the way out here, right? I'm not going that far. I'm just going to go about like this. Okay. Finger press that just a little bit right there where I'm going to go over that seam. I went over a couple of inches on it. Okay. Now I got all this excess fabric, and now I am going to go back over to I'm going to press it, and then I'm going to go back over to my big cutting board and cut it down so that it is the same size as this one. Okay, which I think was about 14.5 inches wide by about 16 inches tall. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Whatever you make yours is that's the exact size it's supposed to be. Okay, I got my houses trimmed down. There's one, and there's the other one. Really cute. Okay, now I measured, and that's about 14.5 inches wide. So I need my strips of piano keys to be about 14.5 inches wide. So we need some background. So all the scraps that I took off the backgrounds, if the pieces were of a moderate size, I cut them in 2.5 inch strips. I didn't care if they were on the bias, if they were up the grain, across the grain, don't care. It's going to be fine. We're working with 2.5 inch strips here. They're stable enough. So that's going to be okay. So now what I want to do, and I did have some that were long because I had cut 3 pieces of 8 inches and I only needed 2 to do all the work around them. So those are my long pieces. I'm going to use up these little pieces first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to find a fabric that I want to be my first strip right here. And let me get my fabrics kind of laid out here. And I'm not sure I want it to be an orange. I think it should be maybe a purple. So, you know, maybe something like that'll be the first one. And then I think I'll do purple, orange, gray, purple, orange, gray, something along those lines. But this first one, I kind of want to figure how big do I want these pieces and where do I want them in conjunction with my houses. You see, they're not quite the same at the bottom. This one starts more over here, this one starts more over there, and that's okay. But I don't want both my pathway blocks to start here, because this one won't work. So this path is obviously going to go this way maybe, and this path will maybe go that way, something like that. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Okay, but I want this piece to be about like that. And we'll pick a different purple. So this one is going to go here because he's got that bats in the roof. Okay, so we're going to go here with this one. And I'm just going to take any old strip. Let's see, I think I had some shorter ones. Let's see here. Maybe? Nope, not really. This one might be a little bit shorter. Those two are the shortest ones I think I've got. All right, he's not exactly a straight cut there. So let me put him back over there, and I'll get my blade out here and make that straight, because that we do want straight. Some things matter on this block to be straight and some don't. All right, let me put him here. Now I cut the purple with the scissors and that's not straight, but as long as I've got one 2.5 inch strip that does have a nice straight edge, we'll be doing good. Okay, because I just lined up the sides, so that's good enough. Okay. There we go. I need a cutting utensil. There we go. So now he looks like that. And we're going to put this other end on him. This is going to be so cute. And I think I'm going to vary the width of the path, as well as I'm going to make it undulate. I think we'll put this one house out of the way for a few minutes and just work with this guy right here. Okay, so that's the first path, the first stepping stone, okay? So now let's see what we'd like to use for the next one. And I'm kind of thinking we'll do something, did I say gray? Gray next, let's do gray. Let me find the grays. Let me find the grays. Oh, we can't do a bat, we just did a bat. Oh, here we go, this one will be good. He'll be fun. Will he stand out? I think he'll stand out a little bit. Cut him off right about there. This time I'll try and cut him a little bit straighter. How do I do that, you ask? Well, again, I straighten up my edges, right? So that now I know when I stick my scissors in here, like so, that's gonna be pretty much a straight line. Okay, let's take my grays again. Find some littler pieces. Let's cut the salvage off. We don't need that in our quilt, huh? Okay. Now that one's not straight. Maybe I should have prepared a little bit better. Okay. Again, that old nemesis of mine rears its ugly head. Patience. Okay. Get another piece. That looks like a straight-ish edge there. Okay, so there's our number 2 step. Okay. And now let's do an orange one. Let's do an orange kitty cat. And I am just going to keep going with this until I get the wall hanging to be about 36 inches. I'm going to undulate it a little bit so that it's not just a straight path. I think I'm going to start going this way, and then I'll curve back this way. And towards the end, I'm going to make my pathway wider and wider and wider. So I'm going to get to doing that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it all pieced together, okay? Okay, I wanted to show you guys something. So far, this is how far I've gotten with my wonky path. Oh, maybe I need to come back here. That's looking pretty good, but something's bothering me. That first purple path, I think it needs to be wider than the house. So I'm going to take out this strip, make a new strip. I'll use this one someplace else, and make that one a little bit wider than the house. I think that'll look better. And this is the kind of thing that you have to do sometimes when you're making something super creative and on the fly. You put it together and you're like, take it apart, fix it. Now's the time to do it rather than later, right? Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll be back with you. Good morning, everybody. For those of you who've been paying attention, yes, this is my third wardrobe change. That means I've been working on this for 3 days. And I want to let you know, this is not a 3-day project. This is an afternoon project. But horses want to get fed, and so do the dogs, and so does the family. And, you know, there are things to do. I ran to Walmart and bought some metallic thread. So, you know, life happens. Life is what happens while you're busy making plans, right? Okay, so we're going to get back to this and we're going to finish it. And it really is only about an afternoon project. Okay, so first of all, on my 2 little wall hangings, this is what it looks like when you get the path sewn on and before you trim it. Funny, right? Okay, let me show you what it looks like after you get it trimmed. Isn't that cute? Really, really cute. Okay, so once I got it all done, I realized that, even as I was sewing it, I was realizing that the gray with the black polka dots, although I love the fabric, it needed some sparkle. It needed a little something. Hence, I ran to Walmart and I picked up a silver thread and this coppery, orangey color thread. And I think I'm going to use this coppery orange one with it. Now, along the same vein as you might be intimidated to do this kind of free-form work, and I have to tell you, don't be. Challenge yourself. Enjoy the process. Don't overthink it. Just have fun with it, okay? If I can do it, you can do it, okay? Now, along that same vein, one of the reasons I got into long arming, I bought that great big machine over there, and put the old shingle out, I'm ready for business, is because I have historically been horrible at quilting on my home deck machine. Even tried it on my industrial Juki, and the best results that I could get was basically stitching in the ditch, which is great for a lot of things. But like for this needs something other than, you can't stitch this in the ditch. That would look just, right? So that is why I got into long arming, because I was never any good at free form or free motion quilting. Well, a couple of years ago, I went and I bought this faff, and I love this faff. She is a good girl, and she has this wonderful free motion quilting option. And so if I'm going to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and make something free form in your piecing, then I'm going to challenge myself to do some free motion quilting, because this is just the right size. So I got a little test sample and I practiced yesterday, and I realized I can do this. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and this is going in my kitchen. So if it's not perfect, that's okay, because I'm going to be the one to look at it. But y'all, look, that's not so bad, is it? Now up here are some swirls and stuff that really kind of went janky. So I need some more practice before I do little swirls. But I thought just this simple meander, I didn't do too bad. There are some places that have bigger gaps than the other. And there are some places that the stitches are longer or shorter where I sped up too much or I slowed down too much. And some hard corners instead of them all being really smooth. But it was kind of fun. So I challenged myself to do that, and I'm so glad I did, because it was a lot of fun to do that little practice one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the metallic thread in the top thread, but I'm going to get some just regular orange cotton for the bobbin. I think that might work better. I'm going to do a test sample on this again of that combination, and then I'm going to get these layered or sandwiched up, right? And start quilting it on my home deck machine. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Okay, y'all, I did it. I actually free motion quilted it. Now, I'm not going to say by any stretch of the imagination that this is award-winning, but the fact that I did it, I conquered my fears. I free motion quilted on my machine. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Let me see if I can get it close enough for you to see that metallic thread. On the back, you might be able to see it a little bit. No, you won't see it at all back there. I did an orange thread. And this fabric on the back was out of a grab bag from Moda, and it was almost 2 yards of fabric. So I was able to put these silly little skulls to good use. Now I'm going to get this trimmed up, bound, and I'm going to show you it hanging on my walls. Welcome back to my kitchen. I've hung up my 2 little wall hangings, my spooky Halloween Wonky houses. That's a mouthful. They're real small, and that's kind of how I wanted them to look. Excuse me, Bullet. Let's come over here and I'll show you this one. I didn't do too bad a job with my meander. I was pretty happy with it. I framed it with some oranges out of the collection, put some tabs on it, hung it on the wall, and I'm loving it. I hope you guys like it too. I hope you'll give this a try. Enjoy your Halloween and stay quilting. Bye for now.